What's going on, Geminites? It's your boy Gem Mint. It's the end of 2019, and I'm going to count down my top 10 favorite statues from this year, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so I'm not going to count down every statue that was released in 2019. I'm going to count down my favorite statues from the ones that I unboxed out of 31 statues this year. So man, we did a lot of unboxings, and these are going to be my top 10. So, coming in at number 10, I'm going to go with the Pop Culture Shock Donatello. It was really a toss-up between Donatello and Raphael, but I really wanted to highlight these guys because I love what PCS is doing with the line. Animated series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is like my shit. That's what I grew up with, and I think they really nailed the execution of these pieces. They look like they're straight out of the cartoon, and they're still quarter scale, and they look awesome. I can't wait to see what PCS does with the rest of the line. Hoping to see some villains, some Krang, some Bebop and Rocksteady, and more. Alright, coming in at number 9, we have XM Studios with the White Magneto. This is the Marvel now, and even the current Magneto in the whole Dawn of X. This was a crazy impressive piece with a humongous base. The big X crossbars were so awesome, and the whole floating look that he had. As always with XM Studios, the paint was phenomenal. It was clean, and the overall piece was just dope, man. I really liked the White Magneto. That's coming in at number 9. Number 8, I almost forgot this piece came out this year, man. This was the Prime 1 Studio Venom. Quarter scale, because this thing is humongous, like a 1/3 scale piece. I still think this is the best licensed Venom on the market. The portraits are incredible with the teeth and the tongues and the saliva. He had huge mass to him. It was a concept from the Dark Origin comic book series. And if it didn't have problems with the tendrils and maybe an overly tall base, I think it would have been higher on the list, but it was still an awesome piece. Next up, we have Thor, Breaker of Brimstone, coming in at number 7. This was a Daniel Bell sculpt with an amazing pose, super dynamic. He is the best Thor piece that I've ever seen. I thought it was amazing. I think that it would have been higher on the list if it didn't have some paint issues where some of the skin tones looked a little purplish, and if it didn't have that mixed media cape, or at least, I was going to say an option to display without, but I think it did have that option. But yeah, this was a great piece. I think it's the Thor to own, and was one of my favorites of this year. Next up, this also came out earlier this year at number 6. This was the custom Sabertooth statue sculpted by Alejandro Pereira. This is the best Sabertooth out there. It's humongous. It's a little bit overscale, but I think that's fine with Sabertooth because he's such a large character to begin with. But this was one that I had custom painted by Carlos Fariza. It was incredible. I love the touch of snow on the base and on the legs, the blood. The sculpt and details were just incredible, and it's definitely up there. This is number 6 on my list. Number 5 on the list, she sits right behind me, Sideshow Collectibles Rogue. Amazing piece. I love that they were able to pull off the whole flying aspect. The sculpt is amazing, and the details. I love the portraits. I think they look phenomenal. The paint job was great. I love how the base ties in with other pieces from the line. And this one's a keeper. This one isn't going anywhere. Speaking of Sideshow X-Men pieces that aren't going anywhere, number 4, we have Cable. This one just came out recently. It's one of the most, it's one of my most favorite pieces in the collection. Massive piece. It gives Cable so much presence, ripped right out of the comic books. I like that you have the options with the poncho to either display with or without. Personally, I don't really like mixed media, so I'm not displaying with it. But as you can see, I do have the portals with the Deadpool hand poked out. And I think this is an awesome piece. Number 4 on the list. All right, man, we're down to the top 3. It got kind of tricky with number 2 and 3. But number 3, I'm going to give it to Gladiator Hulk. I just unboxed this recently, and it's definitely up there on the list. This was a massive piece that was packed full of detail. Another Daniel Bell sculpt. Incredible piece. It was very thought out and creative with that whole squid monster base. The details on the sculpt and the paint are incredible on this, and it's just a wow factor type of piece. I have it in the Gempire right now, not out here in the loft. So with Gladiator Hulk being number 3, that big boy Juggernaut has number 2. It was a toss-up on which one I liked better, and there might be a little bit of a personal bias here, but I just felt like that Juggernaut was just so massive. It was so impressive. And I guess maybe because it's never really been done before, we've seen a ton of big, massive Hulks and Gladiator Hulks. But the Juggernaut just was awesome with a fist the size of my fist. The portrait was amazing, and just overall impressive piece. All right, guys, number 1 on the list. Before we do number 1, let's count down the top 10. So number 10 was the Pop Culture Shock Donatello. Number 9 was XM Studios' White Magneto. Number 8 was the Prime 1 Studios' Venom. Number 7 was the Thor Breaker of Brimstone. Number 6 was the custom Sabertooth. Number 5 was Rogue. Number 4 was Cable. Number 3 was Gladiator Hulk. Number 2 was Juggernaut. And number 1, this was a no-brainer, man. And I'm the only one that owns one so far. The custom Spawn that was sculpted by Macon Andrade. This was an incredible piece. Not only did it have a great Robin Hood type story behind it, it was originally commissioned by somebody who scammed everybody. We ended up getting the files. We produced it at cost. I got the prototype in this year, and it was just so awesome. First of all, Spawn is one of my favorite characters, even as a kid. Spawn's really the comic that I read the most. But to see this piece with this humongous wide cape, his comic-inspired costume, the skull base, man, the battle axe, I just thought that this Spawn, personally, I didn't commission this. I didn't get paid off of this. I just think it's the best Spawn out there. Like, I see a lot of other Spawns. They're usually maybe a smaller scale, or they're a little bit exaggerated with the art style. There's one other custom Spawn coming out that I think might top this one, but for right now, this is the best Spawn, and it was also one that I helped bring into creation. So that's my top 10 list, guys. This is how I'm feeling right now. You know me, I'll probably change my list if somebody asked me in a month or so, but when I was putting this list together, this is how I was feeling. My top 10 of what I unboxed. I'm super excited on 2020. I have a lot of pieces on pre-order. We'll do a ton of unboxings. Maybe we'll try to beat this year's record of 31 pieces. Let me know which was your favorite statue of 2019 down in the comments below. Hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more daily content and for more statue unboxing and reviews. Stay minty fresh. Peace.